evening, we bring you the latest to the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Maitin Sai in tonight's game plan. We'll catch up with Terrafirma Dyip head coach John Cardell and new import Antonio Hester as they get set for the upcoming Reinforced Conference after big moves in the offseason.
We'll also find out what we can expect from the Chery Tiggo crossovers in the Champions League from Captain Dindin Santiago-Manabat and latest recruit May Luna. And we'll break down the must-watch players in the Copa Paulino Alcantara semifinals with Darren Hartman. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. In the PBA, big goals require big moves, and last weekend the Terrafirma Dyip made headlines with another trade as they get set for the upcoming conference. Take a look at this big move here. Alex Cabagnot moves to Terrafirma Dyip in exchange of the newly acquired Simon Enciso. Simon Enciso, one of the premier snipers of the PBA, in exchange to one of the best floor generals in the league. Alex Cabagnot trying to help Terrafirma to the promised land. Joining Alex Cabagnot is as one of the newcomers on the team is their newly recruited import Antonio Hester. He joins us here tonight alongside head coach John Cardell to talk about the team's big plans for this conference. Gentlemen, welcome to the game.
How you doing?
All right. Antonio, first of all, welcome to the Philippines. If I'm not mistaken, it is your first time playing in Asia. Just your initial thoughts, how excited are you to be here and take your career in this direction?
Well, I'm super excited about the opportunity. I've had an opportunity to come play, but unfortunately, my mind was somewhere else. But this time, I'm locked in, I'm focused, and I'm definitely ready for this new journey and chapter in my career.
And you know what, Antonio, how ready are you in adjusting to the new style of playing here in the Philippines?
Well, I don't think it's going to be too much of an adjustment. I've been, kind of focusing on well, first off, I learned a lot from Lester Prosper, which is a great friend of mine. And, he kind of put me on game and the style of play out there. So, I think that I'll definitely be ready. And, it's not too much of an adjustment. Just got to be ready, that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. And, not to put you in the spot here, Antonio, but I'm going to turn to Coach John Cardell right now to ask about you. Coach John, looking at...
Thank you for inviting me.
Coach John, when you talk about Antonio Hester, ano yung mga skills niya? What are the attributes that you like most about him to bring him here for Terrafirma?
I saw him a video, yung full game niya in the present league niya. I think it's 4 months ago. He's still fit. And I saw him as a very athletic guy, a big... He can play 4 and 5, and he got a good shooting on the 3 points area and a perimeter shot, and especially on the free throws. There's some important when you said when you take the free throws, it's a 50-50, right? Like what happened in the past with the Alcon. But this time also Hester, he's a complete package. His skills, very athletic. He's an energy guy. That talagang he can help make him to win and go into the quarterfinals.
Well, Coach, obviously when a new import comes along, a lot of people are always wondering how long it will take them to adjust to yung style of play dito sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
And when you see the way that he's played in the past, when you see his videos, do you think that medyo seamless yung transition niya dito sa Pilipinas?
I think it's hindi naman mahirap, no? So we have simple system, and I sent him a video of our game from last bubble. I think he observed a lot of things, what happened, why we lose, why we win. I think he can adjust to our right away, right? It's a short practice na he can join us para makapunta siya dito.
Yeah.
And Coach, with big moves comes big expectations. So ano sa tingin niyo yung ultimate goal ng Terrafirma this season, given na talagang over the years we've been seeing you improve?
I think yung mga players ko naman the last bubble, they, even though we're not making it to the quarterfinals, but they play well, di ba? It's a matter of the factor lang yung injuries of the players like Josh Monson is not with us, and Drake Kahilig after the 3 straight wins.
Yeah.
So Drake Kahilig got injured, no? So yun malaking bagay na wala. Di ba? So and John and si Ross Adams got injured, he came back not 100%, no, because of Dami Biati. So yun yung mga naging factor. But in the last game, Adams played well. No, we won against Alaska. Diba? But if siguro din injury si Dre and si Adams is 100%, siguro baka we can make it 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah.
Para nakapasok kami sa quarterfinals that last battle.
All right. Well, Coach John, I'm going to go back to Big Hess now. And I hope you don't mind I call you Big Hess because that's what your IG handle says. Right?
Hey, no problem. I don't mind.
All right. But, you're going into a team, Antonio, that is constantly improving. The last few conferences, the past few seasons, they've been getting better and better. Now you come into that situation wherein you're expected to help them elevate to another level. And do you feel, how confident are you in your own abilities to be able to elevate them to that level, especially knowing that some of the other guys coming into this particular conference are actually big name guys that we have seen maybe in the NBA and other leagues around the world?
Well, I don't too much worry about names and other guys. I only focus on me and my situation. I've always been a leader. I've played with younger guys. I've played with older guys, and they're always, I bring a different type of energy when I come and play for a team. It doesn't, like you said, improvement is everything, building the trust of brother, like somewhat like a family and making sure everybody's together off the court and on the court, So the better relationship that you have off the court, the easier it is when you're playing on the court, So I'm just going to bring my experience and what I've brought to the table pretty much my whole career and, just make the best of it and, just pray for a great season,
And Antonio, do you have any message to the PBA fans?
Well, just be ready for a show, man. I'm definitely excited. I'm locked in. I can't wait to get there, man. And, I'm just thankful for this opportunity.
Definitely.
Just, when I get there, I make sure that I give you guys a show. So.
Yeah.
Well, that is Big Hess. You can catch him in the next conference in the PBA. He is a tenacious rebounder, a champion in the Peruvian League and Icelandic Basketball Cup as well. And of course, Coach John, salamat. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Right, so thank you very much, gentlemen, and best of luck in the upcoming conference.
Meantime, more PBA action this time from the upcoming 3x3 tournament, which begins on November 20. In a recent press conference for its inaugural season, SBP 3x3 Program Director Ronnie Magzanok spoke about the importance of 3x3 basketball in our country, the mission of the league, and the SBP. Let's listen to this.
Unang-una, panibagong brand ng basketball, di ba? Pangalawa, it generates a wider audience Kasi makaka-identify yung mga Pinoy. Laro natin ito mula dati pa. Pangatlo, yung tulong para sa Pilipinas, para sa kampanya makapasok sa Olympics. At we compete in the Southeast Asian Games, we play in the Asian Games. We'd like to play in the Asian Games, and hopefully we can tap yung mga outstanding players natin to represent the country. That's part of the mission ng PBA 3x3 at ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas. Kasi hindi mo alam kung sino makakarating dun sa top-rank players It doesn't matter na standout ka sa 5x5, it doesn't matter na top-rank rookie ka. Iba to ibang laban. At makikita mo lang yan pag nakita mo yung action dahil, alam mo, I have to be blunt about it matira matibay. It's a survival of the fittest competition. And that's something that will endear the game to Filipinos. Kasi ganun ang Pinoy Di ba? Maski anong mangyari, unos, problema, pandemya, pabangon Dito makikita mo sa last day ng competition, halos di na makatayo yan. But they have to compete because there's a pot of gold at the end of the grand finals. And then, what lies ahead? The national team, a chance to compete internationally, and the chance for a better life through PBA 3x3.
That was Coach Ronnie Magsano. Now, after the break, May Luna and Dindin Santiago-Manabat of the Chery Tiggo crossovers join us live. We'll find out what we can expect from them in the upcoming Champions League. Stay tuned. You're watching the game.
You're watching the game. I'm Ayes Inside. The queens of the 2021 Premier Volleyball League Open Conference are out to score another crown in the PNVF Champions League. Tonight is all about something new as Chery Tiggo Crossover's newly minted captain, no other than Dindin Santiago-Manabat, and one of team's 3 new players, May Luna, join us to share their expectation in their upcoming tournament. Ladies, good to see you again. Excited na ba kayong sumabak sa court ulit?
Ready na po.
Ayan, you know what, si May, I saw you lead an upper hand sa PVL in your former team sa Ilocos. Nag-shine ka doon. How does it feel to be part of the Chery Tiggo family now?
Siyempre nakaka-overwhelm kasi from the first ever champion na team na nabigyan ako ng opportunity na makasali sa team. So, kailangan mas mag-push pa and mas ma-inspire pa sa atin.
Dindin, na-excite ka ba nung nalaman mo na pupunta si May sa Chery?
Siyempre naman po, kasi siyempre nakikita ko naman si May nung naglalaro siya sa UAAP and then sa Signal nga. So marami siyang may tutulong para sa akin. So siyempre ako, panibago, bata, and madami siyang share para sa amin.
And also, Dindin, newly hailed captain, we saw you lead ever since naman, kahit recently sa AVC. Bago ba ito sa'yo o sanay ka na bilang isang veterana?
Actually, mas gusto ko maging follower eh. Mas lalo na pag ang captain ball namin si Jaja. Pero syempre, opportunity para sa akin to na ma-lead syempre yung Chery. And hindi naman sila mahirap i-handle. Para sa akin, madali to kasi nandito yung mga teammates ko para tulungan ako.
And syempre, kasi mabait silang lahat eh, apparently. Diba? I think so, pero May, obviously moving to a new team is always going to be a tough decision no matter what. Ano yung pitch sa'yo to be able to join Chery? Ano yung sinabi sa'yo ng coaching staff about the prospect of joining Chery?
Well, actually, yung talaga, yung pagiging, yung um, yung ma-gel ka sa team, and then yung experience mo talaga, especially nandyan sila Ate Dean, nandyan si Ate Jaja, na marami akong matutunan sa kanila kasi galing siya ng Japan. So, especially yung lahat talaga ng players sa Chery, marami kang matututunan sa training, on and off the court, and sa coaches. Kasi sobrang sa books or like sa emotions nila, lahat talaga, mentally, physical, spiritual, na-experience ko dito lahat. Ayun. Kaya
Yes, and you know what, Dindin, kita naman natin na papunta yung F2. They're gonna make a comeback and they're also title contenders. But you guys, you are the PVL champions. Gaano ka-intense sa tingin niyo yung magiging matchup?
Siguro super intense. Excited kami makatapat si F2 and syempre challenge namin to. And alam namin na isa rin sila sa nagcha-champion and alam namin na buong-buo sila kasi since college mo kasama sila and ito nga nakasama niya yun.
Oo.
Parang magiging intense kasi syempre nag-champion kami sa PVL and syempre nagcha-champion din sila and pinanghahawakan nila yung kampiyonato sa other league. So, pareho namin pinaghahandaan ng isa't isa. And syempre, yung other teams din naman pinaghahandaan namin. And syempre, makikita dito, eto na to. Parang eto na ulit kami magtatapat na kami. Parang ilang taon pinaghandaan namin. Eto na.
Absolutely. And well, sinabi nga ni Dindin, May, you know them, kilala mo sila. But then ano yung mindset every time you go up against them? This won't be the first time, but then knowing that, okay, nakasama mo sila in college, well, at least the majority of them in college, ano yung mindset mo going into yung mga matchup against F2?
siguro yung mindset ko talaga is gusto ko makita nila Coach Yamil or like yung mga teammates ko na even though umalis kami sa team or nasa ibang team na kami, may kita nila yung grow namin as a person and as a player na even though hindi na kami part ng team, pero yung mga lessons na binigay nila sa amin sa court and sa life, nadadala namin. And yun nga, magkikita kami, makikita nila kami na mas mature, mas magaling na sa court, mas maayos mag-isip, yun. Para makita nila kung ano din yung napagtrabahuan nila sa amin. Like, magre-reflect din dun sa kanila.
Yes, and Kapitana Dindin, alam namin na talagang binibigay ng Chery Tiggo ang buong kaluluwa at puso nila sa lahat ng laro and kita yan ng lahat ng fans. So ano sa tingin niyo yung willing yung ibigay para makakuha ng second championship this year?
For us kasi, i-enjoy namin itong Champions League and all out, every game. Kasi every game is important. So, eto na to, all out na talaga.
Well, short tournament, short competition, those are the key additions for the Chery Tiggo crossovers on your screen right now. Again, it's going to be an exciting time dito para sa Chery. Lots of moves and of course, good luck to the both of you and we hope to see you again soon. And maybe, just maybe, the next time we have you here, baka dalawang trophy na kayo this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you po.
All right, after the break, we'll break down the must-watch players in the semifinals of the Copa Paulino Alcantara. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back to the game. The pitch is set for the Copa Paulino Alcantara semifinals after the Azco's development team secured their slot against Mendiola FC. The youngsters will face Stallion Laguna FC, while heavy championship favorites Kaya FC will go up against Dynamic Herb Cebu. You can watch the action starting at 4 p.m. tomorrow live on One Sports and One Sports Plus. That being said, let's break down the must-watch players in the upcoming semifinals. Joining me for our discussion is football analyst Darren Hartman, and transforming into an analyst for this segment is football anchor, my partner, Paolo De Rosario.
Wait, I just have to complete my transformation. Okay, let's go. All right, obviously this is a, we were talking about this even before we went on air.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot to go through here, and we only have this amount of time. I want to ask Darren first. I think it's safe to say, based on the games that we've seen, that Kaya is probably still the heavy favorites here and a lot to work on here if the other teams want to dethrone them.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. Kaya have come from a really high standard of football. One of only 2 clubs that have been active, considering they were eligible and they've qualified for the AFC Champions League. And they really were cut above the rest. They've set a good tempo and a standard, but I really kind of feel that ADT have switched on after that 2-0 defeat in the first game of the Copa. And they're definitely a team to watch out for. So yeah, all eyes on Kaya, but there's a lot to play for. It's a semi-final.
And Darren, what can you say about the young and hungry ADT heading and going head-to-head with the experienced Stallions?
Well, Stallions have got a really rich history. Especially in the Cup, they've had successes. They're a difficult team to break down. But the thing is with ADT is you've got it exactly right. They're hungry. Everyone is out there not just trying to play for the Copa, but they're playing for their futures, their careers. And they'll be looking to build on the slightly disappointing under-23 campaign and hopefully put some wins and perhaps the first silverware for what is a great youth development program for future Azcos.
And Darren, Paolo made a list here of the must-watch upcoming players here. And first off on our list, we have Harvey Gayoso scoring 5 goals recently. That's amazing. What can you say?
I think that there's that guy, we just have to watch him because he scored 5. In any level, that's going to be an incredible achievement. And of course, I think had Harvey not scored the 5, I probably would have said maybe Sandro Reyes, maybe Oscar Kekkonen, the 2 midfielders who are starting to shine here for ADT. But Darren, with Harvey starting to score goals, or at least becoming one of the more threatening members of this ADT team, how do you think he will be marked? How do you think that he has to play in the semifinals to just elevate another level?
Well, we know it's not easy to score 5 goals. It doesn't happen very often. And Harvey, when he's happy, he's got the ball out in front of him, you have to mark him. Stallions have got 2 really good centre-backs from what I can see. But they're going to have their hands full with Harvey. And all the time you're looking to cover Harvey as well because he's so quick when he's running in those straight lines. That's going to give that space for Dennis Chong and, of course, another player that you mentioned, Sandro Reyes. And I think if you give Harvey too much attention, you might be leaving space for Sandro and Dennis Chong to also combine. So it's going to be difficult for Stallions across the back to contain an ADT team that's just scored 9 goals.
And Pao, we also have Kenshiro Daniels of Kaya FC.
Yeah, so I picked Kenny Daniels because of the fact that a lot of people will be looking at Bedic up top. But then I think Kenshiro Daniels has that goal-scoring threat that might be a difference maker in the semifinals.
And we...
I think, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Darren.
Yeah, I think, for me, Kenshiro is going to be operating in a space which is just behind Bedic. And Bedic's going to have to deal with Wako Kanyas, who's an incredible defender, playing alongside Jason Cordova, who's a tough guy. So yeah, I think you're right in picking Kenshiro Daniels. Kenny, he's going to be the player who's going to be looking to make things happen.
How about Pao? And what can you say about Nathan Alquiros of Stallion FC? Yeah,
because I think Stallion will be busy. Probably the busier team defensively, busier team in the middle of the park in general. At least, looking at the lineups. I don't know if you agree with me here, Darren. But then I think Nathan and the rest of the midfield of of Stallions, the onus will be on them to try and control the game a bit more against a side that really is hungry for it, as we mentioned a while ago. What do you think?
I think control is a great word to explain what Stallions need to do. They were playing very direct against Cebu. They were less experienced in terms of playing at this level, but ADT are a lot fitter. They're a little bit more match ready than what Cebu would be. And you're right, the player in the middle of the park will really need to hold things together. Big responsibility falls on Nathan Alkiros in the middle, but he's going to need support as well from the players just in front of him.
And last but not the least on your list, we have Waco Cañas of Cebu.
Yeah, again, this Cebu team will probably be on the back foot, unfortunately, or at least based on the experience and against their opposition. And you're thinking about who will probably be one of the more busier guys back there, and that might be Waco Cañas. Your thoughts on how defensively they're going to have to line up?
Well, we've seen Kaya playing. They're playing a 3-5-2. It suits the personnel that they have. They do look different when they've got Masato more in the middle. It's a little bit more patient. And of course, you've got Waco Cañas at the back. He's experienced, but he's also got outstanding leadership qualities. So he's going to have to really try to keep the four intact. He's going to have to make sure that the players in front of him are organised and trying to stop Kaya from playing in and around, because Kaya don't go direct very often. And it's going to be about whether or not they're sharp enough to keep up with the ball movement. And that's going to need a lot of experience from Waco at the back.
You know, Darren, I know we talked shop a lot here, but I hope IE learned a lot, because this is not really her sport. But I think that we taught her a bit here. You look at all the names that we mentioned, and maybe and all of that so far. Is there any player in particular that we didn't talk about that you think would be a star in the semifinals going into tomorrow's games?
Well, I think it's going to be two very different semi-finals. The first, which is ADT against Stallions. I think the tempo will be really, really, really high in that game.
Yeah.
It could be end-to-end. Whereas I think Kaya will be a little bit more strategic when they're playing against Cebu. As we have to remember, Cebu are good. They're just a little bit unknown.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping for Philippine football that one of the players from Cebu, not saying who it could be, just really steps up and shows us, something, and perhaps adds a little bit of a surprise element into a semi-final, which a lot of people will say, well, Kaya are going to win that easily. So, I mean, I'd like to go with one of the underdog players from Cebu to step up and show the passion that they're representing Cebu and bringing, some provincial football, which is established in a lot of areas, and really showing, we're here, we can compete.
I like how you didn't mention any names and didn't want to put pressures on anyone, but then I have a feeling you already have someone in mind. And you know what? Let's see whether or not that is the case tomorrow, though. Darren, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Aitin Sai.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.